Hi, my name is Allison Stoepfel. I grew up in Macomb, Ohio, and I am currently studying dietetics at Bluffton University. So a little bit about me, I really enjoy playing Scrabble and traveling, reading, and watching movies, especially Marvel movies. And something that distinguishes me from other candidates is I have a really positive attitude, which I take with me wherever I go, and this has really served to help me get the most out of my experiences and just have really positive opportunities and experiences. So why do I want to be a Tulane University intern? I really like the community emphasis of your program. I did a nutrition education project during my junior year of undergraduate work, and I really enjoyed taking a very complicated topic and simplifying it so that it was more user-friendly for the public. That process was just really rewarding for me. Another thing was I really liked the tone of the website. It had a portion of professionalism, as well as the interns seemed genuinely happy to be there, which is something that I really look for in an internship. And then I'm also really excited to work and grow with a group of like-minded people, and I think Tulane University would be a really great place to do that. Some of the expectations I have for an internship would be, I want it to prepare me to be a competent entry-level dietitian. So that not only includes being able to pass the RD exam, but also being able to work in a functional capacity. So being able to apply that knowledge to a usable place. I'd also like to work in a variety of different rotations. That way I can better understand what I want to do with my dietetics career. As of right now, I think I want to work in outpatient dietetics, but there's still a lot that I haven't explored yet. So I was really excited to see all the different rotations that Tulane University has to offer. And another expectation I have is I want to be able to apply what I've learned both in undergraduate work as well as what I've learned in the internship to different career aspects to make use of everything that I've learned. Some things that I hope to obtain from an internship are I want to be able to have practical skills, so both gaining new ones and maybe sharpening the old ones that I have, which can be used and applied to a career in dietetics. In addition, I really hope for a smooth transition from dietetic student to registered dietitian. So I first thought about becoming a dietitian when I was a senior in high school. I had started out as an undecided major. I was planning to attend Bluffton University, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. And I had heard from some other people to go ahead and get some of the undergraduate general education courses out of the way through post-secondary options. So I did. I took an online class called Basic Nutrition, and I just worked on that during a study hall that I had set aside for that class. And I found that I was just really excited to work on that every day. That's something that I looked forward to. So I was like, you know what, why not make a career out of it? And this decision has been reinforced throughout my undergraduate work. I feel that I have made the right decision to study dietetics. I've really enjoyed all the aspects of dietetics that I've learned about so far, such as food service, clinical, and community nutrition. In addition, I am really proud to study a topic that is science-based and relevant to the general public. Everybody eats, so it really does apply to everyone. And also I think that there is a really high demand for dietetics and that you can just go anywhere you want to with it. Really the sky is the limit for the options that you can do with a dietetics degree. And then immediately after completing a dietetic internship, I plan to take the registered dietitian test and hopefully pass that. And then following that, I hope to get an entry-level job in dietetics so I can get a little bit more experience under my belt and maybe solidify more what I want to do and what I want to specialize in. I'm thinking maybe outpatient dietetics, but I still am exploring my options, so we'll see what happens. And then in 5 years, I'd like to be a certified diabetes educator. Mostly because this is a topic that it really fascinates me. I really enjoyed learning about it in medical nutrition therapy, and I think it's a topic that there's really a high demand for, especially with the number of diabetes cases that have been diagnosed in the United States. It's something that I think that the topic is just really great to be knowledgeable about in order to better help our clients. A situation that made me uncomfortable. So sophomore year, my roommate and I decided to be kit guides. That is just an orientation leader for Bluffton University. And one of the job requirements for that was performing a skit, which I was super nervous about because at the time I was still very much in my shell. And I really wasn't comfortable doing public speaking, much less public acting. But the way I got through it is that I practiced a lot with my roommate, and we had a lot of laughs about it. And we got really comfortable with it. And by the time the last orientation rolled around, it was really just a lot of fun and very little discomfort whatsoever. And we still joke about it to this day, and it's been such a great experience. So if I was uncomfortable in a dietetic internship in a situation like that, I would do my best to work through it and try to take that approach that, you know, it's going to be okay, and try to get as much humor out of it as possible. If I was uncomfortable for reasons that I didn't know how to do something, or it didn't seem ethical what I was being asked to do, then I would definitely make sure to double check with my preceptor and get that straightened out. So college is a time where we get to take lots of exams. So I have had 4 years to figure out how I best prep for exams. So what I do, what works best for me, is I copy down all the notes from the chapters that will be covered for the exam. And then I highlight key parts and certain points that either I think are really important or the teacher has highlighted out as being very important. And then I do my best to make sure that I understand the concepts rather than just memorizing terms, as well as being able to recall instead of just being able to recognize. That way I have the information available to me and it doesn't need to be prompted by a specific phrase. And then something that I've recently started doing that's really started to help me is that I try to teach the information that I know to someone else who hasn't studied the subject. So I know that if I can teach them, then I've really comprehended the subject. A situation where I felt I was treated unfairly was during junior year. I'm a student manager at the Bluffton University Dining Hall. And that was a very self-driven experience. There were only a couple of other managers, and so we all worked together to assign our weekend roles. And then when the final list came out, it turned out that I had about 2 or 3 extra weekends than everyone else did. And at first I was a little bit nervous about that and not super pleased with it. But as I thought about it more, I realized that it was an opportunity to get a couple more hours in, make a little bit more money, and gave me a reason to stay on campus for a little bit longer. As well as I really do enjoy my job as a student manager, so it's not like the experience was going to be unpleasant. So I ended up just working those extra weekends. Had I either not had time or not wanted to commit to those extra weekends, then I would have set up a meeting with my other student manager and tried to come up with an arrangement that we could both work with. And then as a college student, I've gotten very good at multitasking, but I have found that in certain situations I do prefer to focus on a few things at a time. That way I know I can confidently do them and do them well. A specific example of this is when I worked at Bluffton Hospital. I was the second shift cook, and that person is in charge of taking in money, as well as setting up mainline and providing room service orders, as well as cleaning up at the end of the night. And so this position can be very high stress or low stress, depending on how many patients there are and how many people come in for dinner. So on certain occasions, you could have several people lined up for mainline as well as several room service orders going. So it was kind of difficult to make sure that you were doing that in the order that it should be done in. In addition, a lot of that stuff takes time, especially when you're making sure that you follow the serve-safe guidelines. So that you really can't cut corners in that case. So if it was a situation like that, I would definitely want to be able to take my time with each topic and not have to rush through them. And then an occasion where I had to work cooperatively with someone who had different ideas was during my sophomore year. I was working for the University Dining Services, and we had we're cleaning up a catering event, and a employee and I had different ideas about how fast the dishes should be going through. I wanted to work a little bit more efficiently and effectively, and this other employee wanted to go at a little bit slower paced. And in that case, that really was just personal preference. So I went ahead and I worked at the pace that I was comfortable at and I thought it should be worked at, and let them do their thing, because in that case I could really only control my actions and not theirs. And it worked out and we got it done, and all the dishes got cleaned. Yeah. Had it been a case where the employee and I had differing opinions on like the proper practice of something or whether or not something is right, then I probably would have gone and seen what the person in charge thought about it and then gone from there. But that wasn't needed for this scenario, which was nice. Alrighty, thank you so much for reviewing my video. I'm really excited to be applying to Tulane University.